Sunder and Suture. We pick up on the 30th of Sun's Height in the morning. You are currently in Arx Luporum. Yesterday, you resurrected, or rather, witnessed the resurrection of Janus back to life. You spent the day kind of exploring Arx Luporum, getting a lay of the land. Janus went out to reconnect with nature, and nature ended up reconnecting with him. Ran into some trouble, had a long day, but made it back safe. So it is the morning. It's another beautiful summer day, very hot, or will be very hot, though it's fairly moderate temperature in the morning. Still very humid. You are currently staying in the Wolf's Den Inn in the High Crest district. And on the 1st, you have scheduled for Envirio to cast a restoration spell to remove Janus's lingering physical side effects from his little trip to the afterlife. So, what would you like to do? Yes. Yes.
Did I heal my remaining point of con damage?
Yes, you did.
Cool.
Nice.
Sweet.
Yay. Group meeting in the morning?
Yeah. Ramio's already downstairs eating breakfast.
We go have some breakfast then. Head on down.
Okay.
Janus will also be up and we'll be getting breakfast ready too. Actually, Janus sleeps in a little bit this morning because he had a day yesterday. He's exhausted. Got resurrected, went for a hike, almost died again. He's tired.
Rightfully so, yes.
Morning.
Morning.
Morning. Is Elyswen down there?
Hello, everyone. Yeah, I'm there.
Okay.
She's trying to talk, but she's practicing her mime act. So.
Oh. Should we eat really quick and then go up and have a word before we go out and go to the day?
Yeah, I think
Sounds
that's
good.
a good idea.
Great. Eat whatever. Head up.
Ramio will bring a plate of food for Janus.
All right. Are we all up in a room?
Yeah.
Cool.
And Janus has just woken up.
Okay.
Like 5 minutes ago.
Okay.
Oh, I've done this in a while.
Ah.
You roll for hair color.
Oh, yes! New hair color.
Let's see.
I missed that about James.
And generate color. Fitting for yesterday, a rich, dark forest green.
Nice.
Nice.
When Ramio rocks in the room, he does a quick double take and just decides not to question it.
Right, because he hasn't experienced. All right, so we need to do some planning and some. I think some changes are in order I think Elyswen and I talked about this yesterday. I think that we should figure out maybe some of Celis's weaknesses and then some of our weaknesses, try to better our weaknesses, and then figure out how to like expose Celis in his weaknesses. So like one thing that we've been doing for a while has been that we've been kind of going off and going on different directions. But I think because of how powerful he is, we probably shouldn't do that anymore. In case one of us ends up dead in a ditch somewhere.
I think we
He
probably
has
should
shown
go
to
off
be
alone.
knowledgeable about us.
I think we shouldn't probably go off alone, but I think there's some things where having all of us would actually be detrimental.
Agreed. I think that we
Buddy
there are
system
sometimes
minimum.
I think that there may be times when we separate, but we have someone ready to assist if it's necessary.
And we never separate to the point where one of us is left alone.
That would be a good, for sure.
Agreed.
Definitely.
For instance, I know Elyswen and Valure, I think we were all planning on going down to, was it the Deep Quarter? Later today to figure out and make sure we aren't currently being hunted in the city.
Yeah, that was the plan.
I had a question about that, actually. What would we gain from that? Even if we did find out that we were being hunted.
Although we need to be more careful.
Well, I think the real gain would be knowing that we aren't being hunted.
Mm-hmm.
If we can walk through the city as ourselves, it could
without having to constantly wear disguises.
Exactly. Resources we don't potentially need to be wasting.
I think that's
It's also just good to know if we need to constantly have our eyes on our backs, not just for Celis, but for random bounty hunters looking to make a quick profit.
Well, how long are we planning on staying in the city? Like, are we going to go to...
At least a few more days until we can get Janus better.
I think that's 2 days from now.
We could go today, though, right? We could just... We don't have to do it in a few days. It was just a thought.
We could.
We could do that and then go try to solve this problem.
I think it's still good information to have, though, regardless of if we're actually staying here, because if we're being hunted here, we're probably being hunted in the other cities as well. But if we're not being hunted here, then we can, like, this is a little bit of a safe haven temporarily.
And it's also a low risk endeavor. At least I think with the capabilities we have, I think it's low enough risk that it's worth it. It's something that we'll need to ask, though, if what we're doing is strictly worth the cost, or in some cases worth the potential cost.
Yeah, because if we're just planning on leaving the city as soon as Janus is better, we could just get Janus better and leave the city and not have to worry about people looking for us because we wouldn't be in the city.
Well, then the other question is, where are we leaving the city to? Where are we going?
How are we leaving the city? We haven't discussed what our plan is next.
Actually, I've been thinking on that and what we might do with Celis. It's a long-reaching plan, but I had a lot of time to think yesterday when I was walking. There was a lot to work through, but I think I got something. Let me grab my whiteboard.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Cut to the guy with like all of the stuff, like all the lines matching.
Yeah.
Like, this is what's going on.
And then James just takes you through his room, and that's exactly like that.
It's a conspiracy, man.
So, obviously, this is all up for debate, and it's going to be it's going to be a long-term plan, not going to be a quick fix. But, so, Celes views this as a game of chess. Very egotistical, incredibly smart, and very much strategizing. We've seen that with the note, what happened at the gala. It's a game to him. And the way he's playing it, there's two players, it's him and us. So we need to bring in a third player.
Oh gosh. Oh, okay.
This is where it gets difficult. So, step 1 of the plan, we send a note or something. We need more information on it. Where isn't the note? But get in contact with the Cold One.
Oh my gosh. Jeez.
We send a note or a message from Celes, looking to broker a deal, something. The Cold One does not like humanity, does not subject to anybody. So he would very much, or they would very much reject the offer, especially if we make it a little bit more haughty, that it would be among equals, which Celes definitely would do. We then send in one final message saying, you'll regret this. Looks like I'll just have to replace you. Then I go to Celes, offer a deal to Celes, since I'm new back. Celes is very ambitious, and offer a deal to kill the Cold One. And when I take power over the region, well, there's a lot of power to be had with the Fey. Plus, he doesn't know me too well. I've only been in the material plane for a couple of months now, and majority of that was not in Savaria. So, he doesn't know me too well, but he knows Fey. He knows Fey are scheming. And I have schemed in the past. So, I come to him with a deal that's very typical of the Fey. Get him to agree to it to help us take out the Cold One in exchange for power and dominion. We go to the Cold One with Celes in tow to help us defeat him. So, in this big final confrontation, it's us and Celes versus the Cold One. And this is kind of the crux of the plan. Celes is smart. He'd be expecting a backstab or something. So we're going to have to bring in a fourth player. Someone who...
It is totally one of those. Oh, man.
Someone Celes does not expect at all, who would be good in a fight, and that Celes won't think to keep an eye on. So when he gets there, it's completely thrown off. You know, either Celes and us defeat the Cold One first, and then we fight Celes. But we'll be, of course, weakened after our fight with the Cold One. So we bring in, and I'm going to look over at Elyswen. I think the best man for the job is Bjorn.
Zach, I'm gonna ask this, but I think I know the answer, that this is probably not something Bjorn's interested in doing. Would he?
We've asked him about it, remember? Elyswen and Aux did, and it was.
I'm pretty sure he was not interested, if I remember right?
Yeah, he was not interested.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Janus, but I think you might have to find another fourth player. I'm not sure that we have one.
We've made a lot of friends. I think it'd be doable. But that's still not till the very end of the plan. But it's an alluring enough trap for Celes to get his hands dirty. And he'd be expecting double cross, so he would be scheming to double cross us at the end. But if we have the ace in the hole, then we stack the deck in our favor. So what do y'all think?
Honestly?
I know it's ambitious and needs some more work, but
I like that these are ideas, right? That's what we're trying to do. So we're trying to come up with ideas because we really don't have any way to defeat Celis right now alone by ourselves. Like,
yes.
You're right. Like, that isn't something that we can just do. Because he'll never try to fight us on fair ground, right? He'll always try to trap us
It'll always be a place.
or make us see him at a gala when our stuff's somewhere else, and then he's able to do something with whatever, you know. So.
I have some reservations.
As expected, the one thing with this plan is that it takes him out of his domain, his safety net. We're in the middle of the woods. It'll be just him.
I don't think Celis is ever going to agree to anything like this.
And that's the underlying problem that I see is I don't think he would go if he didn't have an advantage.
I know he'll expect a double cross, and he'll double cross us with something we won't see coming.
Yeah.
Which is why they ace at the hole. But
I just don't really think we're in a position right now where we can be planning to try to take Celis out. Like, as a next...
Then what are we trying to plan?
Celis is just... I don't think we can, like... I agree that we need to do something to weaken him. And that we can't fight him in, like, his home turf. But also, like... I think something would need to happen to weaken, like, his position before that. Because also there would be no incentive for him to go there himself. He could just send an entire military battalion to storm that thing. He's in too much of a place of power right now where he can delegate that kind of thing. And I don't know if we should be so much focusing on, like, how can we get him into a situation where we can kill him, instead of how can we find a way to weaken the standing he holds so that eventually maybe we even stand a chance.
Here's a thought.
And
we could try exposing him for who he is to the public.
It'd be difficult. We could try that. Something else
Yeah,
that comes to my mind.
Other than just a note.
Something else that comes to my mind is that we could try to weaken his power base. But exposing him would do that. It would be difficult, I think, but it's something we can absolutely begin. It will take time no matter what. The other side of that power is from Auxsonia. That's the name, right? I always get it wrong.
Yeah. I don't really have a way to contact her, though.
We don't. And I don't know that we should, but perhaps if we just chase the jackals down and remove them as a player, it removes a level of complication. I don't know that that's the right answer, but something to consider.
Look in chat.
Look in what?
General chat. Breaker chance chat.
What did you do? Yes! This is exactly what it is. Janus is alive one day and it's already conspiracy theory.
Iron changes a man.
Oh gosh.
Alright, new plan. You guys break into the Circle of Champions, steal a Vrathix, and use that.
Zach, no. I know what you're doing there.
We write it into the Citadel.
That's right.
Blasting the Jurassic Park theme song on a flute and kick his door down.
And no one can hit us, and we have incredible AC when they do. So it doesn't hurt.
Yeah. I call Jeff Goldblum. That's all I'm saying.
Summon monster Jeff Goldblum?
He's actually more of a Fey entity.
When we go to the Feywild, we'll see Jeff Goldblum.
That's right. It's just Jeff Goldblum.
Literally nothing different.
That's chaos theory.
I don't know. I just feel like Celis isn't someone we can plot against directly yet.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost like we have to kind of play his plan in order to get him in a weak spot where he'll actually be there.
We can't just quit the game because then we're no longer fun and he'll just kill us.
Yeah.
We have to keep playing.
Balancing the game versus our own personal games. Janus, something that I was going to discuss with you before you passed was you had mentioned at the point infiltrating the jackals.
Yes.
Oh man.
I would very much be open to that as a possibility, and it would, at the very least, give us information, hopefully. If you're still willing.
Yes.
Isn't there like a sizable risk tied to that, though?
Yes.
Or
We'll discuss that.
I have another idea. Celis would put on the back burner for the time being, but you remember my original plan to take out the Cold One, establish a kind of a lordship in the Silverpine Forest, and then talk to the Fae and establish trade relations with Senator Scipio. If I establish a trade connection between us, the Fae, and with Senator Scipio and Savaria, that'd make it incredibly difficult for him to move against us. He'd have to start taking into consideration to remove our power base, stuff like that. It'd put us in a stronger vantage point, socially.
If you think we could hold it.
I think so, because at that point, we've ingrained ourselves with the senators, his bosses. He's going to have to tiptoe around very carefully. And that's when we can turn the game to more our advantage, and he'll have to play our game.
Katarina, how important is this this search that you're doing, this research? How urgent is it? Is this something that we can just not worry about until things are resolved?
I mean, it's personal if that's what you're asking.
I was just wondering if
it's not like the fate of the continent depends on it.
I think we should at least look into it while we're here, since we're here already.
I feel like we're kind of at a point right now where we aren't immediately at threat from Celis, which is one of the things that, like, obviously we want to go down and check and make sure that we're not currently under threat by Celis. Not saying if any bounties have been put out or anything like that.
Yeah, my vote is still to check for a bounty.
But if we have some time, I mean, I would appreciate if we could look into this. We don't have to, obviously. I never wanted you guys to feel like it's an obligation. It's just, I had asked, like, originally, like, if we ever get to the point where we have time, and I thought maybe we might have the time now, especially since we're here.
Is this thing
not
spreading? Because
it's what? It's always spreading.
Are you worried about that?
I'm not sure worried's the right word. I just want to understand it. I feel like the better I understand it, the better I'll have control over it. The better I'll be able to use it.
Okay. So you're not trying to find like a cure?
I don't really think of it as an affliction, if that's what you're suggesting.
No, I was just wondering if it's like, I see it as one of two things here, right? Is like that you're trying to find this information as soon as possible to stop the spread before something happens. It's all over you, right? Or you're wanting this.
Would that be a bad thing?
No, I was just wondering. I mean, diseases, I've never seen anything like
It's not,
this.
I wouldn't say it's a disease.
Then I don't know.
It's
That
more
was just
like
a thought of like what it could be viewed as, and I was just curious of what you thought. And so if it's not an urgent thing, I mean, I think we should still do it. I was just wondering if it's like highest priority where you're like, this is spreading every day, like we need to do this now, you know, kind of thing.
I wouldn't say it's that, but I mean, it's important to me, but that's it. I just want to understand. I have this. It's a part of me. I'm not looking to get rid of it.
And maybe
But I want to know why. I want to understand. I want to know what it is. And this is how I can do that.
And maybe if we figure out what is up with your dragon heritage, we can find something else that might lead us to helping to defeat Celis.
True.
Because at the moment we're low on resources of any kind. So I think finding more information on anything at this point is worth it.
And who's to say we couldn't eventually convince this particular dragon, if we do find him, to help us?
You think we're actually going to find a dragon?
Well, that's the whole point, isn't it?
I didn't know that. It's a dragon? We're finding a dragon?
That's what I asked. That's literally the entire thing that I had said, is we were going to try to find a dragon. It's in one of these 3 mountain ranges.
Whoa. Totally.
I know
forgotten.
this.
I mean, it's been weeks. Like,
I know that this has something to do with dragons. I've established that much. There's nothing else it could really be from my research. And I found a journal of an elf who was arguably a little bit obsessed with dragons. And he was taking really good notes throughout like the whole thing, and it was really detailed, and like he was talking about these different places he had gone and not found any dragons and stuff. And then towards the end, it just kind of like peters off, and then suddenly there's a documentation of a conversation that he had with one. Evidently, he got on the trail, found it, got too busy to take notes properly, did document the conversation, but like he didn't actually document which mountain range it was. There were only 3 left that it could have been. And one of them is the ones immediately north of where we are right now. That's why I wanted to go there, is because like I feel like the next step, because I've done so much research, I've read so many books, and the ones that aren't fairy tales are just myths. Still, there's no direct information. And I feel like the best information I can get is from an actual living dragon. And I mean, also of note is the fact that the way he described this one, it seems to have the same color scales that I do. So,
how long have you been like this? Has it been your entire life, or did it happen?
I think it started probably, gosh, maybe like 2 years after Alveryn left.
So almost 2 decades ago, then.
About, yeah. It started a lot easier to conceal. There were just a couple of scales on my right hand, and then like my eye had changed, and I had a couple of scales on my face. So I started wearing a veil. People figured it had something to do with Alveryn leaving and me not being over that and stuff, and I kind of let that persist because it was a good enough excuse. I also started wearing like gloves and things, and as it progressively got worse, I had already kind of built up a reputation for wearing covering garments and stuff, so it didn't really turn into that much of an issue. And then once I ended up well, you guys would call it like something like a mayor or something. Once I ended up in charge of Niven, I needed to be able to show my face a little bit more. But by that point, I had figured out how to kind of disguise myself magically. That's also kind of when my magic kicked in as well, is when the scales started appearing. And I definitely wouldn't want to give the magic up, so I'm sure as hell don't want to give up the scales. I've come to it. I hadn't accepted them for a while, but I think now I've definitely, I don't know, I feel like they're a part of me. I think if history is any indication, they definitely spread faster when I've had instances of high stress. The last major spreading happened when we were in that house that burned down. So.
Makes sense.
And before that, it was after you guys rescued me from being imprisoned by oh gosh, I'm blanking on her name. What was her name? Britannia, yeah. And that was a whole deal.
Well, I mean, frankly, speaking purely pragmatically, I don't know if we have much of a plan anyway. And I think it's about time that you, receive some support from the rest of us in your quest.
You've been helping us in all of our endeavors.
It would mean
You're
a
a friend.
to do this. But if you don't want to, I understand. Because it's a 1 in 3 chance, right? Like it could be or it could not. This could just be a pointless trek into the mountains, but at least it would be crossing it off the list.
What have we done in the past few months that hasn't been at least some sort of chance?
Fair.
I vote we go to at least to this mountain range and look into it.
Mm-hmm.
I share that opinion.
Thank you. Ox?
Oh yeah, no, I'm supportive, 100%. That's why I was wondering how urgent we wanted to do this. If we need to do this as soon as possible, like today.
It's not that we need to do it as soon as possible. It's just that we're here. For once, it seems we might actually have the time.
Mm-hmm.
But no, for today, I think we should make sure that we're not actively being hunted.
There, I guess we'll start our dragon search a little early.
All right.
Off to the deep quarter.
I think the deep quarter.
So it's Janus, Ramio, and Elyswen, right?
Wait, is
Or not
Janus
Janus.
is going?
Not Janus.
Katarina,
Ramio.
Ramio, and Elyswen.
Yeah, it's Katarina, Ramio, and Elyswen.
Okay.
Okay.
Thinking sorcerer, Ramio, and Elyswen.
Oh, nice.
Not really. That's just ended up being the coincidence.
Okay. What are Janus and Aux going to be doing?
Janus is heading to the library.
Arx is going with Janus to the library.
Okay.
Oh, right, buddy system.
You can't
Nice.
escape it.
We do everything together.
We're gonna have to get like manacles, and so nobody can leave the house until they're manacled to at least one person.
That's right.
I'm thinking I want to go to this library because if I can look up stuff on the Fey, see if there's any other fate portals in Savaria, not just the one in the Silver Pine Forest, but maybe there's one closer to here we can check out.
Okay.
Or just anything else on the Fey in the area. Give us another card up the sleeve.
Sounds good.
All right.
I don't like reading. So I'll try to help them.
Maybe they have picture books.
Okay. Ramio, Katarina, and Elyswen, you make your way through the high crest.
Wait, sorry.
Yeah.
I want to just talk tactics
Oh,
really
yeah.
fast. So Elyswen can get away from anyone.
You should also be wearing the hat.
Yeah, definitely.
I'll keep this guy's self up.
Yeah. If we want to give the hat to Ramio, I can probably work out a disguise that's not half bad.
Ramio can just be in his full plate. No one's
Yeah.
gonna see his
Oh, yeah,
face.
that's a good point. He's got a helmet.
I'm
Keep
good.
the visor down, I guess. You're safe.
I'm
Yeah,
walking around as a bounty hunter, so
good point. Nobody want to mess with you. If we get like followed or chased, I have an idea, and I want to talk it through with you guys just to make sure. I have prepared Featherfall today.
What's
I also
Featherfall?
have a lot of other things. It lets me fall very, very slowly.
Oh, dear.
so you don't hurt yourself if you fall.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Or if you intentionally fall slowly, it's sometimes a very nice view. But regardless, what I'm thinking, if we're being followed, if you would like to indulge in any of my tricks, I have quite a few prepared. I could make one of you invisible for a time. I could create a cloud of mist that we can disappear in. That sort of thing. But the other option, if we can get to one of these crossings, and I know that we just talked about this, but this is a worst case scenario. We could allow someone to follow us to the crossing. I could theoretically make it to the top and jump down and give them, we could split ourselves up so that they don't catch all of us.
I think worst case scenario, we split up just to be able to get away. But we should have a designated meeting place to meet back up.
Mm-hmm.
So that within a reasonable amount of time, maybe like 20 minutes or something like that. If someone isn't back yet, the other two can like go out and look for them.
I think that's a good idea.
How about in the green? Here, next to the Citadel.
I think that works.
Okay.
a good
Let's
place.
stay together if we can, but if we have to split up, we have to split up.
Exactly. And
if we
we'll
do
talk
split up, be safe.
And we
Don't
talked
take
about
any
it
chances.
beforehand.
Meet back in the green.
In the group.
Should we make our priority to stay together? To like I'm just thinking worst case scenario. Do we want to? I'd rather not commit any violence if we can avoid it.
For sure.
It sounds, and I will warn you. The report that I got at the Deep Quarter was not favorable.
I know a few places where people who are looking for bounties tend to hang out. I think if we present ourselves as a bounty hunter group, they'd be more receptive to us.
Very well. Just, we'll keep our eyes out. If we see something, we'll discuss before we do anything, as much as possible.
Yes.
I also have a message prepared, so I can do that too.
Is that the one where you talked in my head?
I mean, it's just talking to you. It's just we can do it whispering instead of, from great distance we can whisper to each other instead of shouting.
That's very useful.
Especially in a loud place. And Avize could always, well, if I'm separating out from the two of you, then he can relay any messages.
Good bird.
Sounds like a plan.
Very well.
I have a disguise in mind, but I won't exactly be able to talk in that disguise. So if you guys could just handle most of the talking, and if anyone tries to address me, I don't know, just say I'm the strong silent type or something like that. And she will morph into a male dwarf with long, gray braids, decked out in studded leather armor with a massive crossbow on his back. And an eye patch over his left eye. All right, let's go.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the same buff human Elyswen.
Disguise self does not change your voice.
Nope. I think, does alter self?
Alter self does.
Yes.
Theoretically, you get to choose what it changes it to, right?
What was that?
I said technically you get to. Do you get to choose what it changes your voice to?
I think so, yeah.
That could be a lot of fun too.
That's a lot of fun. Yeah, alter self, I would also be able to be taller, but
Mm-hmm.
With
You're
that,
muted, Zach. Oh, no, you're not. Never mind. Sorry.
with that, you make your way out of High Crest. Are you taking the switchbacks or are you taking the lifts?
Lifts are cheap. Let's just do those.
Yeah, I guess
Okay.
we got money.
Right?
So five silver each. You ride the lifts down to beautiful view. Can't quite see. No, I guess most of the view is towards Northwatch and the Ford Quarter. But you can see the river as it rushes through the city.
Ramio staying at the away from the edge of the lift as much as possible, tucked in the corner.
You realize this is just hanging out in space, right?
Then he will be in the exact center.
It's literally when it comes up, they actually hook it and bring it in. But when it's ascending and descending, it is fully just out in space.
Oh god, that's worse.
At least have a rail.
Well,
It's
yeah,
like a
it's an
gondola.
enclosed. It's like an enclosure.
Oh, okay.
Like a gondola type deal.
Yeah.
Okay.
You cross the river through, say, either the north or middle bridge. Make your way into Northwatch and to the lifts or the switchbacks.
Lifts.
Okay. So this one is 2 silver for the lifts.
Who's paying for Elyswen? Or Elyswen, I guess you have.
I have
100.
money now. Yeah.
You have money now, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you, keeping in mind this is morning, so as you were descending the cliffs from High Crest, the sun was in your face. It was warm, and everything had just this beautiful, just the beautiful light of the morning on it. You could see the mist from the river rising from the rapids. As you descend into Deep Quarter, it's entirely different. You step into the lift and drop below the ledge, and all the light is gone. You cannot see the sun anymore. It's not like pitch black, obviously, but it's very, very dim. And as you descend, it gets colder. Not like arctically cold, but uncomfortably cold and humid. Like there's just a pervasive mist down at the base of the lifts. You find yourself in Deep Quarter. All the buildings are it almost looks like the buildings grew up out of the ground like vegetation would, where they're all vying for space. They're not regular shapes. They're kind of, some of them are very thin and narrow, kind of like built in between 2 other buildings. And as you're descending the cliffs, you actually see along the base of the cliffs where buildings are built up onto the cliff. Up to, several dozen feet up in the air. And you can see people ascending and descending, simple rope ladders going to and from these buildings. Everything has this feeling of almost like being in a jungle where you have an intense amount of life around you. It's all chaos and mess. It's dark. It's extremely damp. And it's also dangerous. Say you probably, for speed's sake, probably set down or descended the Deep Quarter somewhere near where the falls are. So there is, it is just like a mist everywhere from the water of the falls, just kind of drifting and filling the space. There's moss absolutely everywhere, growing on the buildings, sides of buildings, on the roofs. You can see people moving around, dressed pretty poorly, dirty, torn clothes, moving quickly from place to place. Some of them, slinking around, looking around kind of suspiciously. There are main streets, but there's just such a, because of how the buildings are built and all crammed together, there's just this constant traffic. Everyone's going a ton of different ways, climbing up a level and going through some like elevated alleyway or some other alleyway, or going down the street, or there's no like flow that the higher levels of the city has, where there's one thoroughfare and then it kind of branches off. Instead of feeling like a river system that branches and splits into smaller streams, it's more like a fen, where you have all these little tiny waterways that all connect together in a different, like a spider web almost. So what would you like to do?
Real quick. 10 paces outside with Janus and Aux. Aux will grab the back of Janus's neck and just be like, actually, you know what? We should stay low and not be out here because that's kind of the reason why everyone else is going and checking to see if it's safe. We should make sure that we just go and not do anything today until they come back.
I can do a disguise.
You can? What can you do? Oh, right, you've got... Wait. You can do stuff, Janus. You can freaking do stuff.
Yes, I have magic.
You can make things. Can't you?
Yes.
He's like, I haven't been gone that long.
Okay. You know how you made that scarf for Elyswen?
Yes.
Is there other scarves or things that you can make?
Huh? What are you looking
Or
for?
is that the
Magical
only
power. Yeah, I need to know
With
what.
all scarves.
I
He made the hat.
need
I
to
can
know.
make armor, but I can make any type of clothing, really.
Can you make a weapon magical?
No, I can't do weapons.
Okay, you can do people though, or things that help people.
Yes.
Okay, like there's a spell that I know that's called Bull Strength. Can you do that? But like as a clothing item?
I could. I could either have it be something that's used and you get the full effects of bull strength, or something that's a less of a strengthening, but you get it constantly.
What?
Can
Bull Strength be added on top of it?
It could. I've made
Yes! You are. She just like hugs you. Like, you are sent from heaven.
Literally.
Yes, you are. Janus, this is so important. First of all, we should disguise ourselves. Second of all, we need to figure this out. We need to enhance so many things. Like I have like no spells now, and this would be life changing.
Yeah, I've noticed, I'm not too familiar with paladins, but I think some strength would be helpful.
Yes, that would be fantastic. It would be amazing. It would be everything. Can you disguise us right now? Can you disguise yourself or both of us? I do have the ingredients still from before for alter self that we never use. We were gonna make something with it. I have materials for alter self. That's what I have in my inventory that we bought.
All right, I think we were going to make a potion of alter self.
Yeah. Maybe we do that today? Is there something that we can do like inside that's like helpful and useful?
I can make that potion.
All day? Okay. I can help.
Right indoor activity.
I can help. Suddenly Arx is like, down days is like the best now because Janus can work on spell making stuff.
The only thing is that's gonna be the only thing I can make unless we
Totally
went
fine.
out and bought other.
Let's just do this today, and then when they get back, we can go to the library or something. But we'd have. Okay, what do you think? What do you think? What do you think? What do you think?
Yeah, I think that'll be fine.
Great. Arx just walks right back into the owls or wolf's den, and we'll help Janus with whatever he needs to make today.
All right. Yeah. And Janus will go through like how he goes through making potions and stuff.
Awesome. Oh, okay. That is all. That's all.
All right.
It's just like, we should not be going out in public like this. They're literally going to see if we're being tracked.
He took the snake just fine.
Yeah, surely you guys can handle a few assassins.
Totally.
How bad could they be?
Well.
As the door to the Wolf's Den Inn closes, we cut to Ramio, Katarina, and Elyswen fresh off the lift down in the deep quarter.
I'm going to cast Message to start. So everyone's aware we can talk to each other. I'm including Avize as well.
That's really useful.
Definitely.
Actually, I'm not sure if Avize can whisper it, but you can hear us at least. Ramio, you know where somewhere is, right?
I know what?
You know where at least one place that we could go find the bounties is, right?
Oh, definitely.
Did we come up with code names? Pseudonyms?
Probably wouldn't hurt.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'll be Derek.
Oh no. I was gonna say call me Dale or something. We probably shouldn't have like
Derek, Dale,
Dan.
Dan.
Except I think I'm still a woman. Danielle, that's it. We'll be Derek, Dale, and Danielle.
Totally.
Perfect.
sounds good. I remember I won't be doing the actual.
Why don't you guys just be Ed, Ed, and Eddie? Like,
We could.
Now that you mention it,
Now you mention that.
for real, what do we want code names to be?
I was being serious.
I was being serious as well.
Fair enough, Danielle it is. And I will call you, and I kind of scratch Avize's little chin. Donald.
Davy say. Is that what you said?
Oh, I thought you made the same joke as me. I thought you said Daffy.
Oh no.
I mean, it's not, he's not a duck, but... I think to impersonate a duck.
Alright, so we going.
okay. So, codenames figured out. Ramio, are you leading the way to a dive that you know of that caters
Yes.
to bounty hunters? Okay.
Exactly. I'm gonna go and try find like where I would normally go if I was looking for bounties and stuff like that.
Okay. You know of a place nearby called the Tankard's Bottom.
Anchor's Bottom.
Hey,
Yeah.
look at that.
I know a
The
I know a
sign-
place near here.
The moss encrusted sign. It just looks like it's about to rot off of the arm that's hanging out of the building. Is just a tankard, and it has a hole in the bottom of it.
Yep, this is the place. I come here for the past few years. I've been coming here for bounties, jobs, stuff like that. If we're gonna find a bounty, it's probably gonna be here.
Lead the way.
I'll lead on in.
Okay. Push through the door, which has a slightly spongy feel to it, which is all the water that's in it. You push it open, squealing of hinges. Inside the pretty dim interior, there's really the only source of light is a fire on the far side of I'd say it's probably 20-foot square space. It's not incredibly huge. Fairly spacious interior from what it for the deep quarter, just from viewing the outsides of the other buildings. As you open the door, there's like 4 people, including the barkeep, that are there. There's like the barkeep and one guy at the bar, and there's 2 others like talking in a corner. It's hard to make out features. It's pretty dimly lit. As you enter in, heads kind of turn and look towards the 3 of you. And then after a moment of like sizing up, really, like in somewhat intense scrutiny, they all just kind of go back to what they were doing. And really stop paying attention to the 3 of you. Ramio, where you've along the wall directly to on your left, there's a essentially a wide board, a notice board of sorts. That's just, the wood is just chewed up from all the nails and knives and other pointy objects that have been jabbed into it just to hold up like pieces of paper and whatnot. On this board, you see a couple of, looks like wanted posters, job postings for various things. Most of it seems to be like, one of them is like for like hired muscle for like protecting their boat on the docks or something like that. Another one's for transporting sensitive cargo. Discretion is required. Some of the bounties look like just almost painfully cliche, like wanted posters. Like there's a pair of like dwarven brothers that just look like they've got all this like scars in the right places to make them look super tough, and a couple of things like that.
Fantastic.
I see nobody's taken down the dwarves yet. That one's been up for almost, well, it's been over a year now. Good for them. Let's see here.
Good for them.
Right, because he's a character.
All right. And I don't see our wanted posters.
Nope.
I'm gonna go talk to the barkeep. Just gonna walk over and order an ale. Sit down.
What are Elyswen and Katarina doing while Ramio's doing this?
I'll probably just kind of be like following behind, like shadowing one of you.
I'll sit down, and once I have my ale, I'll take it and ask him. So, have you gotten any new jobs lately?
What jobs we got? They're over there. He just kind of nods his head generally towards the board.
All right. Gonna sit, drink my ale, and then I'll leave.
It's like the worst ever.
Aww.
It's watered down. It tastes kind of sour, like it's probably was. It wasn't stored properly. It's not good.
Ramio, this is actually the beer he likes, because this is what he basically grew up with, what he's been drinking for most of his life. So it's.
When you say grew up with,
what is he? Listen, when you're out on the streets, I don't mean like child, but like, see, as a teenager, some tavern keeps would look the other way. But no, this is what he's used to and kind of what he enjoys. As much as it hurts to have a character liking the D&D equivalent of PBR, yeah.
I don't know, this might be like Bud Light Lime.
Oh,
Does it look like we're gonna get like hassled if we're not like if we just stay to ourselves, are they gonna bother us?
Besides the intense scrutiny that you got when you came in, no one seems to really care or pay you any attention.
I'm gonna, after my yell, walk up to the board and take down the I'll take the wanted poster for the dwarves. Turn to my two companions and go, all right, got some dwarves to hunt. Let's go.
Wow.
Okay.
We head on out.
All right.
Also, Ramio will keep the wanted poster and just keep an eye out for the dwarves, just in the meantime.
Oh my gosh.
We've got priorities.
Add
All right.
to the list of things.
Derek?
no, any other thoughts?
Okay. Ramio, I will let you know. I would say this particular Dwarven brothers, you've seen their wanted posters in like other cities too. So
They're very good at hiding.
add two wanted posters to your inventory, I guess.
Great.
Now I gotta think of names to go on it.
So,
No, any
this
other
is-
locations?
yeah.
Do I know of any other locations that might have like the most up-to-date wanted boards, or who might have like good information?
So you know that the way basically the bounty posting works is when the Watch or the Legion post a bounty for someone, essentially those posters are distributed and are hung up in multiple places. So assuming that the barkeep, proprietor, owner of the Tankard's Bottom does their job right, it should be just as up to date as the rest of them.
All right. Well, and I'll explain this. So, if these are all the wanted posters that have been distributed here, very well might be we're not wanted.
Should we at least check one more place just to be on the safe side? Because what if someone had just come in and like taken those posters, like you just took those?
All right, we can check one more place.
Worth a look. Zach?
Yeah.
I want to like make sure that I'm like pretty clear about this, that I'm going to like be keeping a watchful eye up for anybody that's like following us, or like, you know, anybody that's acting shifty, like towards
first
us.
off,
Yeah.
just about everyone is acting
Everyone.
shifty.
Yeah, I'm sure everyone down here is acting a little shifty, but like, if anybody's like, you know, like tailing us or keeping an eye on us for like longer than I think they should be.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll head to another bar just to check their wanted posters, just to make sure.
Okay. There's a slight variation in the posters, right? Some of them have been removed, others haven't. But you don't see posters for any of the 5 of you.
Right. It's not here either.
We're in the
I think
clear.
we're in the clear.
Oh. Oh, that's a good
Alright, let's
fact.
head back then.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be another 7 silver pieces each of you if you're taking the lifts. As you rise out of the deep quarter back into the warmth of the sunlight, and then once again taking the lifts from the forward quarter to High Crest. I'd say it's probably like 10, 30, 11. Just with the time it takes to traverse the city, going to a couple of different places. So it's close to noon by the time you make it back to the Wolf's Den Inn.
Right. I could probably have crafted the potion that time. Let me check.
I believe it's 4-hour crafting time, right? Or is it 2?
Double checky, not for potion specifically. Here we go. So it's going to be, I have the spell, so it's going to be just DC 5 plus the caster level, so I can't fail.
Nice.
DC 7. I have a plus 13.
Nice.
So if I crit fail, I'll double the DC. Agreement hours grows 8 hours of work per 1,000. If their base price is 250 or less. Let me see.
Pretty sure Bolt or Alter Self should be less than that.
It's a 2nd level spell.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Which I believe makes it 150.
I think so.
If I remember my cost progression right.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, no, it's going to be... Potion costs. Sorcerer...
I mean, we already bought the stuff.
2nd level... Yeah, this is just determining how long it takes to make. Crap, so it is 400 gold pieces worth of items that we spent. Or 200 that we spent. But it has a cost of 400, so that's going to be... Listen, it takes 8 hours to create, just like any other magic item. So 8 hours, but I can reduce that down to 4 if I add 5 to the DC. Which I'll still make.
You would, yeah.
Right. I will roll 24. I made it. Done.
Oh man, bummer. You missed it.
Ooh. I was going for super duper alter self.
A really gross soup.
Okay. By the time Elyswen, Katarina, and Ramio get back, you'd be about, or maybe 45, 30 minutes away from completing the potion.
Nice. How'd it go?
Looks like we're in the clear.
Sweet.
Luckily, quite uneventful.
And you see, when the three of you come in, you see Janus working over, like, obviously brewing a potion. And I'd like to think Aux's version of helping is, like, eventually Janus just had you do something like president of the organizing the vials or something like that.
Yeah, she's
He's
like,
holding the wrench.
Yeah.
You can crush the herbs we need.
Great. She just minces them to powder.
Perfect.
And takes her time.
Right. And yeah, as it's going, I'll be going over each of the steps with Aux. This is Fey magic, since it's what Janus knows, so it's very much kind of a bunch of different things, hair from multiple different animals, and bits of this, bits of that, and it's almost like cooking. Gotta make sure the temperature is right and everything's simmering at just the right level. And yeah. So when you guys come back, Janus is like standing over it, gently stirring it in just a consistent motion.
It's like quite the endeavor. What potion are you making?
It's a we bought this before the incident. Stuff to make a potion of alter self.
Oh,
Since Aux can't cast alter self, this way if we ever need a quick disguise, she can be in on it too.
come in handy, given our current circumstances.
Aye. By the way, do we have a bounty?
No, we're in the clear.
Oh, good.
I'm actually a bit offended.
I am too. I expected at least a few hundred gold.
I know, it'd be nice to know what we're worth to him.
Mm-hmm.
But no, he doesn't even fall.
Okay. Your two bounties that you took off of the wall are for Druzil and Gramil Ironshod.
Okay.
Amazing.
Writing this down.
500 gold pieces each alive.
Alive. Nice.
How much are they dead?
Half.
Mm.
Half for half.
So if I bring 3/4, do I get more?
Unfortunately, like many of the rules in Pathfinder, they round down.
Ha.
Oh no. So you better bring at least half.
Just imagining, like, we bring them their heads, but only their heads, and the person there just shrugs, like, well, you got their heads, but you don't have the rest of the body. We're going to need more proof they actually killed them.
Exactly.
Unfortunately, rounding down, this is 0.
That's right. Go find the rest of them.
So let's see, half of an iron shot, okay, and then let's see, we gotta remove the processing fees, the administration fees, the taxes, of course. That leaves you with 5 silver.
You know, funny enough, I kill people for a living. I'm just throwing that out there.
Yeah, all this prize gouging and stuff. We really need like a reunion or maybe like a guild.
Yeah, there you go.
That wasn't heavy-handed at all.
Is that what is
Sounds
Ramio
like
going to start
Ramio's
the
gonna
the bounty hunters
That's
guild
Ramio.
and the kids orphanage like in the same building?
Yeah. Well, it was an adventurers
Orphanage is
guild,
just a
is what he's
front
making.
guild.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay. So you have half the day. And no one's even come close to dying yet, so
That's always good.
Well, let's go to the library and change that, because you know how
Mhm.
dangerous libraries are.
Anybody want to go for a walk?
I might actually join you guys going to the library.
Great. As soon as Janus is done, we go to the library.
I'm almost there. I just got to stir this consistently for the next 30 minutes.
We're not disguising ourselves anymore, are we?
I don't see
I
the
don't
need.
see why not.
I might wear the hat just because of how conspicuous my normal appearance is. But
Very well.
nah,
Valid.
screw it. I'll be fine.
All right. If anybody wants help with research, I'd be happy to.
I'm gonna be looking into any like local legends of dragons just to see if I can find anything pointing to it possibly being in this mountain range or a section of the mountain range to search.
I might have some applicable
Everything from fairy tales of the local area to legends to myths, that kind of thing.
Be happy to help.
You could also keep an eye out for Fey. I'm going to be looking into any nearby... no, that's Ramio's voice. I'm going to be looking into any nearby Fey portals to see if anything closer than the Silver Pine Forest, since that's at some point we need to go there. So the more options we have, the easier it is to get there.
Sounds good.
Not to mention, if we can find a Fey portal here and come out in another Fey portal in the Silver Pine Forest, it would throw Celis off our tracks a bit.
Can that happen? Does that work? Like, how close? How far? Hold up.
Yeah.
We go into the Feywild, and we come out 200 years in the future.
There's a very small chance of that happening, but it is a chance. I'm not going to say it's a non-zero chance.
Freaking Enigma investigations all over again, guys.
Oh no! Oh no!
So
Celis is taking over!
That's actually a good question. Would we have to worry about maybe not like 200 years in the future, but like if we go into the Feywild, like what are the chances are that we come back at the right time? Like even missing like a few months could be
Even days at this point, right?
really bad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not super thrilled about the idea of maybe coming back and suddenly everybody that I know is dead. Except for us, you know.
What if we came back, but it was like earlier?
Oh, that would be...
Possibility as well, I think.
Hold on. If that happened,
Wait.
there would be a note waiting for us downstairs. I'm going to go downstairs and see if there's a note from my future self.
Well, no, it might not have happened yet because we haven't like gone through yet.
Would have happened
You
because I would have
know.
come back and we would have...
Well, no, not if this
This
is
might
the
not
first
be
version of
the
kind
place.
of like
I'm just gonna go look. I'm just gonna go
this
see if
is
there's
the
a letter.
first link in the causal chain.
Zach, I go downstairs. Is there a letter from Ox?
Actually, no, there isn't.
Okay. Ox goes back upstairs. I don't think it happens. I think it's not a problem.
I think it could happen. I think it wouldn't start to affect until we had already done it.
Think about the possibilities. If we knew what Celis was going to...
True.
Again, those are very
the-
slim odds of that happening,
Well-
so if... We probably shouldn't bank on that working.
Here's a thought.
It would be nice.
Here's a
That's all
thought.
I'm saying.
If Janus wants to do it, we could let Janus do it. Because he's time traveled before. So, jumping, skipping.
Yeah,
So he could do
not
it.
intentionally.
We could let him try it, I guess. Because he's still got his whole life in there and over here, it's not too much different if it's for your life, at least for now.
I thought you were just saying earlier this morning that we shouldn't split up.
That does violate the splitting up rule.
Yeah, but is Celis gonna be in the Feywild? Really?
There are
I think
plenty
there
of
are
other
other
dangerous
things
things
in the
in the
Feywild.
Feywild. But the cold one is
I don't know.
technically from there.
It was just a thought. If we wanted to go to the Feywild, maybe that would be. It would be a. I don't know. I don't.
Again, I mean, the same thing
Risky.
applies to finding this dragon with Katarina. But we're taking risks no matter what we do. It's just whether those risks are worth the reward.
I don't think the Feywild risk is worth the reward. Yeah, no, I don't think that. Time 200 years and nope, not for me.
Maybe someday.
Maybe.
Maybe if we could find a way to mitigate the chances of that happening.
Mm-hmm.
But we wouldn't know that.
There's
until
some.
we go into the Feywild.
Well, there are some of the more powerful Fey that can mitigate that. I know a few people I could talk to. Definitely be possible. But personally, I do think it's worth it for the cold one. And if we need a quick escape from Celis and we know a portal nearby, it'd be good to know.
Location of portals would be good to know. So,
I think
So
it's
I'll
something.
research that.
What do you know about this cold one? How long have they been in the area? What have they said? Is it a person? Is it a being? Is it a... What do they want?
How cold are they? Sorry.
A Fey... There's some sort of Fey entity, a magical creature that, from what I gathered from interacting with their servants and stuff, are power-hungry, use very dark magic forbidden by the Fey. But beyond that, not too much else. And the only ones who would know are... Well, my mother might know. She was a very powerful lady of the Fey.
Mm-hmm.
Worth a look at the library.
Yeah, maybe the library.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, head to the library.
the library.
To the library.
We have to make the weirdest group that's ever gone to a library together.
Yeah.
Of all time.
Dude with weird colored hair. Paladin.
What's wrong with a paladin?
Elf.
Edgy, knifey elf.
Scaled gnome.
A dude just in full plates.
Man in full plate.
We'll take off the helmet.
Great.
See if this works. Nope.
Whoa. We lost the city.
Oh, actually, you just got 2 cities for the price of 1.
Earthquake.
Double the city, double the fun.
Yep.
And now that we're not being hunted, we can really afford to party it up.
Or-
Not monetarily, but socially.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah. Okay, so you make your way to the library. Janus is doing research on Fey Gates, potential locations. Katarina is doing her research on...
Dragons, and specifically in relation to any tales tied to this area.
Okay. What are Elyswen and Ramio and Aux doing?
Ramio's gonna find a book on archery.
Okay.
I'll settle down with an archery treatise. I like it. Elyswen would love to help Katarina out, so I'm going to try to look for information about dragons.
Okay. What is Aux doing?
I'll get back to you on that.
Okay.
I had an idea.
Ramio, you settle in and start reading a really riveting dissertation on the various effects of different feathers, different feather lengths, different feather widths, and the placement of the feathers as fletchings and their effects on arrow shots. It's an exhaustive study, and it's very interesting to you.
It looks like a. I'm guessing it's looks like a grad school journal of science or something.
Pretty much.
Like for how it reads, but he is just riveted.
Oh yeah. Like I imagine, like you're sitting over there and you're like, oh, I never even thought about how that would, like, like going through the different, like, well, it says goose feathers, but like, what kind of goose did those feathers come from? And where from the goose did they come from? It makes a difference, So like all like really getting down into it.
I have a feeling there's also one page in there like he'll find something where it's like, using this type of feather has this effect, and Ramio's just like, no, bullshit. I've used that type of feather before. It does this. Starts arguing with the book.
Librarian, your book's a liar.
Where's a pen? I gotta fix this.
At the end of it, basically, the conclusion is that for the discerning archer, they should always fletch with a, let's see, 2-inch long by 3/4 inch wide feather, tail feathers from a Tielen blue swan. And you know what? You disagree strongly. The best arrow you've ever shot came from a Solabari winter goose, and it was the flight feathers. And you remember them being much thicker and longer than that. So by the end of it, you just adamantly do not agree with the conclusion.
Ramio's upset.
And then I imagine you go and see if you can find a paper that does agree with your opinion. It's like, well, let's see if I can find someone who has a little bit of more sense around here.
It had some good points and a lot of really bad ones.
All right. Janus, you find, as you would expect, most of the things that you find are like folk tales and children's stories of Fey coming in and like spoiling milk or causing iron to rust or, stealing people's children away.
Yeah. The stealing children. Okay, get past that.
It's a favorite.
And they've done that.
It's a favorite theme.
I've never done
Why is everyone so obsessed with this?
We're all steal kids.
Kind of piecing together some of those stories. Each story has a kernel of truth. It might be real small, but But kind of piecing that together, and the different various locations that are mentioned, it really seems like, at least from the legends and stories that you're reading, that the only suspected location of a Fey Gate in this region would be in the Silver Forest. There, as Janus, the Fey Gates are very rare.
Very hopeful.
Katarina. Again, a lot of myth, a lot of legend, a lot of stories where dragons are either like a benevolent, like a benevolent character, or the antagonist that some hero has to go and slay. You do find, oddly enough, not essentially like a travelogue or like a tourist guide to like Western Illyria. Mentions that a Vigil mountain in the Citadel mountain range as a place where, as a common setting for dragon stories and lore.
Okay. So that's this mountain range, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Vigil Mountain. Question. I'm going to start looking into Vigil Mountain after that. Is Vigil Mountain geographically on this side of the mountain range or on the other side of the mountain range, like to the north?
To the north.
Shit.
So, let's see.
I will share my findings with Elyswen.
Like a long journey.
Yeah, definitely.
But we've got horses. We're, I think, considering going to Capri anyway, so.
Mm-hmm.
That also brings me maybe another point, something that I've been just tossing around in my head. The two pairs of stanzas that we're quite certain of in Celis's poem seem to point to mountain ranges that may also have something to do with your heritage.
Hold on one sec, sorry. One thing I will also point out to you, Elyswen, just when I'm pointing out Vigil Mountain, is that like showing you a geographical map of Vigil Mountain and then holding up the like map that was in like the journal that I had found earlier. Those circles are basically almost the same spot.
Looks identical.
Definitely. There's also a chance if we get to like the foot of the mountain that I would recognize it. When we got back to Carson, I had a dream and saw a mountain, but it didn't really. I mean, there's thousands of mountains in the world, so.
Do you remember it clearly enough?
Yeah, clearly enough. I think I would recognize it.
Okay. Well, I would say this sounds like the sort of thing you should trust your intuition for.
Mm-hmm. I think there's a good shot. What were you gonna say?
I have looked at the map again, as you brought that up, and decided that that was a poor point.
Oh, okay.
But it sounds like we have a location. Quite specific as well.
Yeah. It will probably be. It would be probably best to approach it from the north, though. And that will be quite a trek.
Yes. The other thing that stands out. Do we know if there's a clear trail up this mountain, or if it's going to be?
No clue.
Is that something the library might have
Oh
information?
yeah,
on?
that's a good idea. Let's look into Citadel Mountain and
Yeah, is there like
tourist
a-
destination and see if there's like any trails or anything like that.
So a little more reading into Mount Vigil. It's called
Oh.
Mount Vigil. There used to be a essentially like a watchtower on the top of it. Think Beacons of Gondor style. That it was made nearly 1,000 years ago, when the Empire was still very new, and basically the world was a little wilder. There were dangerous creatures that would come out of the Citadel Mountains, and so it acted as a watch post to give warning if there were like goblins or orcs, bugbears coming out of the mountains and coming to raid nearby settlements.
Perhaps acting as a lone sentinel of a sort? I mean, just speculating, you don't have to answer.
It's definitely not in use, and it has not been garrisoned in hundreds of years.
I feel like I've acted foolishly in the past, in regards to this sort of thing, but this sounds like a clear possibility.
I don't see the connection to Zealous though.
Yes, that's part of
We can't look at everything as like, oh, this has a connection to the note. This is clearly like a trap or whatever, because that's what he wants us to do.
No, I'm not saying we
He
proceed.
gave us this to mess with us and to get into our heads.
Very possible.
It's just something to kind of keep in the back of our minds.
That's all I'm saying. Just pointing it out. I don't feel we need to do anything differently.
Well, I think this is definitely a good lead.
Agree. Seems there's at least some corroboration.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think of what you wanted to research, Ox?
Yeah, I will go ahead and look up deities.
Okay.
And just get a better feel of what Ainta believes, if there's more things on where she comes from and how religion works in this area. It doesn't have to be answered right away. More of just becoming I guess, more knowledgeable in this stuff.
Okay. So that information is pretty easy to find.
Sweet.
Let me open up this document. Okay. Is there specific things that you're wanting to know, or just a general overview?
General overview.
Okay. Ainta the Free, also known as the Chainbreaker, is the goddess of travelers, freedom, and independence. Typically depicted as a fierce-looking woman in traveling leathers armed with a sword, usually shown astride a horse. Ainta has no organized religion. Those who follow her precepts simply live their lives as fiercely independent individuals. Although Ainta is the embodiment of freedom of choice, her followers would not seek to harm others for personal gain, as that would interfere with their freedom. As such, followers of Ainta tend to be filled with wanderlust and often embroil themselves in causes to fight for the freedom of others. Typical people who follow Ainta are sailors, caravaneers, wanderers, and soldiers.
Nice. I like it.
The other gods in the pantheon of the Nine are Amriel the Dawnmaker, Duma the Voice of Nature, Torgar the Bond Forger, Seltuil the Scholar, Comus the Trickster, Diona the Betrayer, Therius the Father of Monsters, and Zatar the Ceaseless Maw.
Nice.
And if you wanted to learn more about any of them or about the primal gods, just let me know.
Sounds good. Ox will then go help Janus find Feywild stuff.
Okay.
Janus is gonna, after realizing that there's no Feywilds anywhere nearby, he's gonna try and research the time dilation.
Okay.
Story's
Give
not bad.
me a knowledge arcana check for that. Some extremely specific information you're looking for.
It's a 12.
I'd say you're able to find a couple of what look to be treatises on basically the speculation of chronomancy or time magic. Really, all of it seems like just 100% speculation. One of them will say it's not possible. One of them will say it's only possible to move forward. One of them will say it's possible to move forward and backward. All kinds of conflicting things. Not really able to make a conclusion one way or the other. Anything else? You guys are being awfully quiet.
I think. Janus is actually going to look into, since getting to the Feywilds is tricky, contacting another plane and getting in contact with the Feywilds.
Okay. To clarify, you're looking for if there is a way to contact other planes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Spells, magic items, stuff like that.
Well,
You have a phone right here in this library.
Janus, what level of sorcerer spells can you cast?
Up to 4th level.
Okay. And when you get your negative level back, will it be 5th?
No, it doesn't affect spells known or spell levels. It affects my caster level, though.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay, yeah, there are spells capable of sending messages to other planes. They are not quite within your reach just yet.
Gonna need to get stronger still.
And there are ways to get around it. You could summon creatures capable of moving between planes, and they can basically act as messengers. You could probably find magical items that were capable of carrying messages. They'd be very expensive, and they would basically be doing the same thing that the spell would be doing.
That's an idea. Cool, so Janus and Ramio are good. After finding that treatise on arrows, Ramio is really worked up.
Mm-hmm.
Katarina is good after learning about Vigil Mountain.
Aux has been ready to leave since they got here, so. I hate books.
Why would I read a book when I can just punch the things that the books talk about?
Exactly. Back to the place? Back to the inn?
Yep.
Sure.
It's probably getting to be later in the day now.
Okay.
There's a lot of studying I did.
Should we pick up the gold for... I don't think it's tomorrow morning, but...
There's no reason to take that out of the bank before we need to use it.
Fair enough.
True. Little do we know, tomorrow is Sunday and the bank is closed on Sunday.
Totally. Do we want to just do this tomorrow?
We might as well.
Run by the
You could run by and see if he's available tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
I guess we could all run by.
I think it's... Yeah, let's just stop over.
Okay. We will go to the Temple of Amriel Zach to see if we can just change our appointment to tomorrow to healing Janus that negative level.
Yep.
We do that.
You can definitely do that.
Sweet.
Right on.
That's what we'll do.
Yep.
Party at the Wolf's Den.
Party at the Wolf's Den.
Party at the Wolf's Den.
Arx is going to, Zach, look at the flask that she has with Celis's letter in it.
Mm-hmm.
She's going to cast Detect Poison to see if there's any poison still on it.
Yep.
Oh no!
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow. All right, then. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Just tuck that away.
I mean, you guys haven't done anything to remove it, so yeah, it's still there.
Mhm, mhm.
I don't think we plan on removing it.
Nope.
All right. So you're spending the rest of the day at the Wolf's Inn or Wolf's Den.
About dinner time, so gonna go eat.
Okay. Unless someone else has something they need to do today,
No.
the day dawn breaks, and it is the 31st of Sun's Height. You have an appointment at the Temple of Amriel this morning for Janus to be physically restored.
We go to the bank and get the funds and then go to the temple.
Yep.
Okay. A quick stop to the Everland Royal Bank, where you withdraw 1,000 gold pieces,
Mm-hmm.
which brings you to
Now 4,000.
4,000.
183. 60.
Anybody better die. If anybody dies, I swear.
Anybody dies, we're gonna have to start raising even more funds.
If anybody dies, they owe the rest of the party 6,000 gold.
We'll sell all your stuff.
Sell all your stuff to finance your resurrection.
Pretty reasonable.
That is actually reasonable.
Let's make that rule right now, then, if everyone's okay with it.
I'll add that to the contract I'm working on.
There you go.
Nice.
Or if you die, you get resurrected, but you cover the cost.
You're footing the bill.
All right. You're putting the bill that's more than what the party has.
Okay.
Do I get a discount on that for all the times that I've healed people?
And 1 gold back for every point of healing you've done.
That's a lot of gold.
All right, so everybody, if people die, currently it's about 6,000 gold that you'd owe us for resurrection. Except for Aux, we'd owe her an extra 6,000 gold.
Yeah, that's
We'd resurrect her and then give her 6,000
That's
gold.
so sweet. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right. You stop by the bank, make your way to the Temple of Amriel. You are ushered up to the High Vicar's office, where once again the sun is rising over the Citadel mountain range. no storm clouds this time. And in a similar, in a somewhat similar ceremony, Janus, he has you lay on the same like white marble table that you were on when he resurrected you, and in a similar ceremony, holding a handful of diamond dust instead of a ridiculously large diamond. He goes through his chanting in Celestial, a prayer to restore the health and fullness of life and being to you. And eventually he opens his hand and blows this dust over you, which suspends, almost like seeing dust motes in sunbeams. You see, as with each individual little tinkling light of each grain of diamond dust as it slowly settles on Janus. And then each of these pinpricks of light start to grow brighter and brighter. And then eventually there's thousands of little pinpricks of bright white light covering Janus, and they flash once and then fade. And Janus, your negative level has been removed.
Ooh.
Full power.
That feels a lot better. Oh. Oh,
Glad
yeah.
I was able to help.
Thank you. It means a lot.
Yes, thank you for doing this for us, for him.
It is my honor and pleasure. How have you been feeling the last couple of days? Talking to you, Janus.
It's been good. It's not the easiest readjusting, but I got friends. We got stuff we want to do, and it helps to have focus.
That's good. Keep that focus. Remember the people that need you here.
And he'll just smile over at you guys and just, yeah, I'll keep that in mind.
Okay. With that completed, Janus fully healed, at least physically, from his ordeal. You make your way back out of the Temple of Amriel after, exchanging money for the cost of the diamond. And you find yourself once again outside the doors of the Temple of Amriel in the Temple Quarter, as the sun is rising. And you have the whole day before you.
What's our plan?
So,
Yeah.
are we going to head out today?
Be a bad
First
idea.
question is, where are we going?
I don't know what else we'd be doing here. Yeah, I've got nothing else here I need. I say we get moving.
Jake, are you gonna have Ramio come with us? We're just gonna eventually get a bunch of everyone gets 2 characters.
Everybody has 2 characters.
No,
For now, yes, but
Jake gets more and more and more.
Yeah.
I mean, by the time it roll into the campaign, I have my own party.
Mm-hmm.
And each person has a very distinct voice.
You thought the Aurochs was bad.
He just plays a sorcerer, just everyone.
I'm having.
Oh, freaking herd of Aurochs.
I'm planning on keeping Ramio around for now, but in the near future, he is going to go off when I find a good theme for him to go off on. Because part of it is he's invested in this Celis thing, since Celis did threaten him directly. So if he goes off on his own, it's the immediate, you broke the buddy system in the worst way possible.
Makes sense.
Or we could just have it where everybody gets 2 characters. Peg comes back, Grok comes back, somehow Alveryn gets resurrected.
We could have a necromancer. Katarina could take a couple necromancy spells and
There you go.
There you go.
Or I mean, Peg is a wizard. She could probably
would she?
animate dead.
Would she though?
I mean, it's Peg, so
Good question, actually. Yeah.
Peg does what Peg wants.
Not what anybody else.
Not what anybody else wants.
Not what Alvyn wants.
If it keeps her alive, she'd do it.
I'm just imagining Alveryn, being dead this long, coming back, and it's freaking Peg is the first face he sees.
Oh.
Just be
I was
like,
thinking that.
she'd be like, I told you you died first.
Just like, kill me. Just kill me.
No.
Kill me again right now.
Oh, jeez. Well, I think it's off to the this Vigil Mountain. Was that it?
If that's what you guys...
What?
If you guys are good with that.
What mountain?
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Mount Vigil.
Where I've never heard of it.
It's on the north side of the range.
Cool. Let's go.
I would say, Ox, you probably have heard of it.
Thank you.
I mean,
Yeah, I grew up around there.
on the road to Capre, which is your hometown, so.
Perfect.
Ooh, we're going to Aux's hometown.
Hey.
I mean, I guess I don't know that.
She said
Never
that's-
mind.
She has said
Oh,
it.
shit.
Yes.
Yeah, she said that.
Okay, okay.
Multiple
Yeah, that's right.
times. Her dad lives in Capri.
Oh.
I know you're not good with your mother, but how are you with your father?
Oh, I'm very good. I mean, goodish, good. Good. Yeah, we're good. We're good. He'd be happy to see me. I'd be happy to see him. It would be a surprise, but it wouldn't be like a bad surprise,
Believe me, I know.
Well, we'll be up around there so we can stop by.
That would
Might
be
be a good idea. It might be a good idea to see how the climate is anyway. And
True.
truthfully, if you're okay with it, I wouldn't mind meeting your father.
Yeah, you are my half sister anyway, so we could just have that
Well, maybe
lovely
that-
conversation with him.
Now that I think about it, it might be a bit uncomfortable for him. Whatever you think.
It's okay. I was born out of wedlock, I think, so it's not really. I'm sure he might even know about you. Who knows?
I'd be shocked, but it's possible.
Well,
Not allowed about everything, I suppose.
he loved our mother, so who knows? Anyway, to our horses.
Oh, we should probably buy Janus a horse.
Yeah, he still needs a horse.
Yep.
To go buy
To the horse
Janus a
shop.
horse. Yeah.
Yep.
I believe it
Store.
was. What kind of horse does
Horses are
Janus
ass.
want?
He doesn't need anything special. Janus is just looking for a friendly horse.
Friendly horse.
Stop by Steed Co.
Mhm.
Mike's pre-owned horses.
No money down.
You know, I'm gonna say I think I remember it being 30 gold.
I think it was that. For just normal horse.
Yeah, that sounds about right to me.
I know the expensive one was Lancer.
Yes.
10 times that?
So let's see. We got Lancer,
Daisy.
Daisy. Is there one named Lavender?
Lavender.
Marigold.
And Marigold. Okay.
Yep.
Now joining the posse is Casper, the friendly horse.
Nice.
Casper.
Wow.
Couldn't resist.
That's amazing.
I love how we all remembered our horses' names.
Good. Right. Janus is going to take good care of his horse.
I somehow feel like Casper is going to end up being like the horse equivalent of like a lapdog that gets pampered too much. You know, like
Yep.
fed people food and stuff.
And he's going to be trying to bring him into all the inns in his purse.
Pretty much. Okay. With a new horse. Are you guys planning on setting out today as soon as possible?
Yeah.
I mean, we don't really have a reason to stay.
Okay. Are you traveling to Armnaris first, or are you taking like
No.
get out of the mountains and then cut up?
Get out of the mountains, cut north, hit that road, and then travel.
It might not
Does
be
that sound good?
It might not be a bad idea to try to. Well, I don't think there's any point in trying to catch the road. Actually, it's so far away from the mountains.
I mean, it would be faster traveling, is what I'm thinking.
That is all like deserty, plainsy stuff, though, too. So, you know, like it might not make too much of a difference.
Yeah.
Like we obviously shouldn't ride through the forest, but if it's like clear cut or there's not a lot of trees, it might not make.
I mean, we're on horses, so yeah.
Yeah.
As long as the terrain is manageable.
Which if I remember right, on the way in, it was pretty sparse as soon as we got out of the mountain, like before we got to the mountains, I guess I should say.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I just like drawing lines on maps. All right. So, spending the rest of today traveling.
Oh, we probably before we do it out though, we should probably buy some like ropes and pythons.
Oh yeah, can we ask about like how difficult it is to climb this thing? Like maybe we find like a, like the medieval equivalent of an REI.
Can't Katarina fly?
Yeah, but it would be really taxing for all of us too, and we might need to do it multiple times, and it doesn't last very long.
How long? Seconds? The mountain's like
Minutes.
Oh, that would matter.
There's also no guarantee that whatever's up there is what we're looking for, or who we're looking for, or friendly.
So I'd rather not waste all my spells. when ropes can do the trick.
We need to fly. We need to fly. We can avoid it.
Okay. So you're wanting climbing gear?
Yeah.
You can certainly find something like that. There we go. Okay. So, grappling hooks are 1 gold. Rope, 50 feet of hemp rope is 1 gold. 50 feet of silk rope is 10 gold. If you want trail rations, it's 5 silver pieces.
Oh, should we be worrying about rations?
I gotta buy food for
Well,
the
we've
horses
got Janus now, right?
That's true.
The horses.
I guess the
Pittons-
horses can kind of eat whatever.
Pittons are 1 silver piece. Picks are 3 gold pieces.
I have a grappling hook. I don't know how useful that's actually going to be, but
So, I saw in the Ultimate Equipment book there was a climber's kit.
Ultimate equipment, boy, that sure doesn't sound core to me.
No, I know. But it's crampons, pythons, ropes, and other tools, which gives a +2 bonus on climb checks.
Yeah, I'd say we could probably do something similar to that if we need to. But you need to buy the rope, pythons, and
Yeah, how much
grappling.
for all of the stuff that we would need?
The question is, how much do you want to buy?
Oh, I see.
So I'm listing things that would qualify as climbing gear,
Yeah.
and then you guys need to decide how much of it you want to buy.
Okay.
I have some rope already. I have a grappling hook.
Yeah,
I don't think we're going to need more than 1 grappling hook, and I doubt we're even going to need the 1.
I
So
got a bit of
what
rope
I've
as well.
I also have some
Ropes. I got about 50 feet as well.
Okay, so maybe get 2 more ropes just
I
for
also
the
have
other-
50
oh,
feet of rope. We should probably get a longer rope.
not gonna be a
Get
bad
a
idea.
100-foot rope or something like that.
I just found the horses. I lied. It's not 30 gold pieces. There's 75 for a light horse. The pony was 30.
The pony was 30.
I also have a grappling hook. We're good on grappling hooks.
Okay, so no
We
more
should probably
grappling
get,
hooks.
a long rope and maybe a couple more short ropes.
Okay.
We should definitely grab some pythons.
Yes.
Picks. Probably a pick for each of us. So 5 picks, and then
And that way, every morning when we set out, somebody can make the joke, "Hey, take your pick," and then Sorry.
Wow.
I'm gonna.
That was a good one.
If a meteor hits Elyswen in the head right now,
That
I
was
understand.
good.
I don't know. Probably just to be on the safe side. I mean, pythons are cheap, right?
I think
1 silver piece.
Probably grab 20 pythons.
Sense.
So 5 picks, 20 pythons, 2 more bundles of 50-foot rope, and 1 bundle of 100-foot rope.
Sounds good to me.
So
Never
you probably
done too
also
much climbing.
Probably also want to buy a hammer.
Oh, to put the pythons in. Yeah, that makes sense.
Might want a few of those.
Probably get a few
Hammer.
of those.
Hammer is 5 silver pieces.
Mm-hmm. We don't
Gosh,
all need hammers, but
Pound
if we...
hammer. It's a heck of a hammer.
Yeah. Jeez, probably grab like 3 hammers.
So you guys type a list in the chat of preferably roll 20. It's easier for me to see. Give me a list of a quantity of each of the items, and I'll give you a total.
Is that everything?
Food.
Oh,
We're gonna do
food.
food. Unless we
Yeah.
want to try to live
Ooh,
off
yes.
the land.
Well, if we get some of the basics, I can make meals like old times.
Yeah, so trail rations. So it was 5 silver for trail rations?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's 5 of us. Probably grab food for 5 days to be on the safe side.
Well, we gotta get there and to Capre.
7 days, a week's worth. So,
Not to mention, we can try and get food on the road as well, so it'll mitigate how much we use.
yeah, we can buy 35 trail rations.
And then food for the horses as well. Or do we think they can just eat grass on the way?
They won't be able to eat grass in the mountains, but what are we going to do with them
Hit
when we
them.
go up in the mountain?
Somebody might have to babysit.
I can watch over the horses if need be.
Want to spend some extra time with Lancer?
Yeah, I don't know much about dragons or magic, so I'll stick with the horses then. But if you need help, you call for me, okay?
Alright.
Just know I might not be close enough to help.
How much are horse rations?
Feed per day is 5 silver pieces.
Okay. Buy another week's worth for 5 horses.
$35 gold in food.
Yeah.
But we can just keep it around.
Yeah, it's not going to spoil.
Yeah. But, whatever we can manage to supplement.
Yeah. Rather not burn through the trail rations and then we can't find food.
Mm-hmm.
Classic mistake, right? Eat like kings on the way there and then starve on the way back.
Yeah.
So.
Ooh. I like that.
Jake, you should check out the chat.
No. Let me see. Ooh. Yeah, I like that a lot.
Sweet.
Nice. That looks great.
Mm-hmm.
Picture above it's more accurate.
Ramio?
No. In the Breaker of Chains chat.
Oh, that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
That
is this
pictures Janus to a T.
That's pretty fantastic.
okay? Total amount you guys need to pay is there.
Oh, sweet. That's way less than I was thinking.
Let me.
I'd like to barter since we're like buying in bulk everything. I'd like to barter a bit. Try to get the price down.
Okay, diplomacy.
$17. I rolled a 2.
Oh,
That's the second 2 I've rolled tonight. This die is going in the box.
Yeah, they're not. They don't
Bandits.
really. They're not going to budge on the price.
Okay. Yeah, I'll not push it too hard.
I'll front that for now.
Thank you.
You can start carrying around spending money, like for the party.
Honestly, that wouldn't be a bad idea.
Also, wouldn't be a bad idea. We can find something that pays as well.
Okay. You've also added a total of 491 pounds to your inventory.
We've got horses.
We have
I think
horses.
the horses can handle that just fine, but I wanted to double check.
There's Sammy when you need him.
You guys should buy a water clock. I don't know what it is, but it costs 1,000 gold and it weighs 200 pounds.
Oh my god.
Why does water need to know what time it is?
I mean, why doesn't water need to know what time it is?
Mostly because it's water, but maybe that's just me.
That's offensive.
I wonder what a water clock is. I'm gonna look this up.
Wait until time with water.
Oh, yeah, they're a real thing. A clepsydra. Or clepsydra? Yeah, it's like it lets. It's like an hourglass, but with water.
Interesting. Okay. I forgot all the things that have values in here.
Oh, there's a lot.
Like a warship for 25,000 gold pieces.
Hey,
Guys, I know what we're buying
party
next.
goal. Yeah. Hills can't mess with us if we're
You're
rolling
just-
up with a warship.
You're
Hey,
gonna
guys,
buy the MMS Kraken.
Yep, we're starting our own privateering business. We're gonna put the merchant marines out of business.
Good luck with that.
That sounds like a dangerous deal. I don't think I
Okay.
could mess with Arden yet.
After making your purchases, you make your way out of the city of Arx Luporum and make pretty good progress for the day. The weather is nice. It's a steady, gradual uphill. Kind of near the end, it gets pretty steep. But just near the beginning of where it starts to get pretty steep and rough, or rougher, you find a good place to camp for the night if you wish to.
And
Maybe
if we
sleep
got the
at some
ship.
point.
Okay. Are you setting a watch?
Yes.
Yes.
Go
Definitely.
first.
Of course.
I can actually contribute this time.
Hey.
Okay. Who's Ox has first?
Mm-hmm.
Janus will go next.
And me.
I'll close it out.
And then, actually, we got one more. Ramio can close it out, too.
Yeah, Ramio gets a free ride.
Is he going to
Well,
partner
we all-
up with me? Or
Actually,
If we all take one watch,
who has the worst perception?
good call.
I was
Who
thinking
has
if
the-
we all take our own watch, nobody has to stay up, like, super long hours. Everybody gets a good night's sleep.
Who has the worst perception?
It might be me. Which is funny.
Tragically so.
Aw.
Yeah.
I doubt it's worse than me.
It's a 7
Janus and Ramio both have
+7.
good perceptions.
What was that, Ox?
+7.
+6.
That's rough, buddy.
Looks like Katarina gets to sleep in.
Now let's have a contest. Who has the best will save?
Ooh.
Ooh.
I guarantee you it's Ox.
+9.
Yeah.
We basically did that in my last D&D
Plus
session.
Oh, yeah. That was rough. I don't know how I got through that with a +3.
Yeah, I know. And the DC was that in order to get up the mountain, you had to make a DC consecutively. A DC 11, 15, and then 19 will save.
Oof.
And if you failed any of them, you failed the test. Like, completely.
Dang.
Jeez.
Yep. It was rough.
And yeah, somehow Darren made it all the way through with a +3.
I didn't even have to re-roll anything.
First try.
Yep.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Just goes to show you don't need to be good. You just got to be lucky.
Yep.
Dude, best thing in that game, I'm a halfling. Luck is so good. I don't know what they were thinking when they put that in the game.
Well, when do you remember to use it?
Yeah, I'm terrible at remembering that I can reroll.
Okay. The first night passes uneventfully.
Hey.
That's good to hear. Actually, Janus is going to do something on his watch.
Okay.
No, Janus. No.
Sending... It's not dangerous! I'm sending a letter to my mother.
Dang,
Said it's not
I don't know.
dangerous.
would be dangerous.
So I am going to cast Summon Monster. And I'm going to summon a Grig, which is a CR1 Fey.
Okay.
They're basically, they have the prickly legs of a cricket with tiny gossamer wings and the upper body of an elven woman. And they only stand like a foot tall.
What are they called?
A Grig. They love music and traveling and actually like taking on forces of evil. They get themselves into a lot of trouble. Like, what was it? Grigs are eager to confront evil and vanquish ugliness. As a result, Grigs often find themselves in trouble because they're a CR1. They're not heavy fighters. But they also love music. But I'm going to summon one. Just as soon as it's summoned, I'm going to say, we don't have much time, but I need to ask you a question. I need a letter delivered to a lady of the Fey. Would you be willing to do that for me in exchange for something?
Make a diplomacy check.
It's going to be a 28 or 27.
Okay. Cross his arms in Sylvan.
Mm-hmm.
What's the deal?
Well, I know you Griggs like your music. It's always been wonderful when I've listened to it before. I could make you a small magic item that could make it so when you play, it's louder so more people can hear.
So, in exchange for the service of delivering a message, you will craft a magical fiddle that carries sound louder than normal.
It won't be a magical fiddle, but it'd be an item you can place on your fiddle that will make it louder.
So, for the service of delivering a message, you will create an item that will make my fiddle sound louder.
Yes, and I got a contract right here if you're willing.
Gosh.
She'll snatch it out of your hand. Although it's more like this, because like really small.
Yep. And I made sure it is a Fey contract to a T. Clauses are all outlined clearly. Stipulations, everything are there.
By the end of it, she kind of proving nod. Very well. I agree.
Right. Take out a pen. Janus will sign the contract.
Okay. The Griggs signs the contract too. It's really just like a scribble. Griggs don't do a whole lot of writing.
It's something on paper. That's what matters. And I will pass her the letter and say, I'll get working on your item right away.
Oh, I'm assuming the Grig would have asked, how are you planning on delivering this item?
With Summon Monster, could I resummon the same Grig?
It's a random.
Tell you what, the person you're going to come in contact with, that letter is so they can come in contact with me for a meeting. When they go back to the Feywilds, they'll have your magic item for you.
Are you going to mention who it is?
It's Mother Madrila.
Okay. Yep. The Grig accepts the terms of the contract.
Thank you. I will pass the letter.
Okay.
Then, poof, the spell ends, because it's not a long spell.
Yeah. All right.
Great. And then he finishes out his watch.
Cool. Okay. Over the course of the next day, you climb up into the Wolf's Pass. You see the legionary post pass underneath what the massive rock formation that appears to be a wolf skull. Wind is still howling through the pass. Anyone have any interest in summoning a pack of wolves and knocking on the door? Okay.
Nobody else wants to try?
I'm good.
Actually,
So you make your way down out get to about the same place where you camped previously on your way towards the pass. And night is beginning to fall. You may make camp if you wish, or continue on through the night.
Camp.
Probably best to camp.
Probably best to camp. Also, probably best to see if we can like scavenge any food to alleviate the drain on our rations.
I'll go see what I can hunt down.
Okay, go ahead and make a survival check for me, Ramio.
I can help if you want.
That'd be nice. I could use a spotter. He'll take his bow and go hunting.
Okay.
And that's a +2 for aid?
I will perform the aid action. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. That is a 23.
Okay. I imagine, like, I almost want to imagine this like you see a doe or a deer, and Katarina's like, "Oh, I'll get it," and then just fireballs it. Like, look, it's cooked. We're good to go.
That would be fantastic.
Yeah, you're able to
Best hunting ever.
say with a 23, you can.
Janus would add that to the contract. Don't fireball dinner.
Scorching ray.
Scorching ray. Say you're able to bring down several pheasant
for dinner.
Well, augment the trail rations that you have.
Sweet.
How many trail rations do we have to consume?
I'd say with the pheasant, it'll essentially stretch one trail ration to 2 days. So basically takes the place of one trail ration.
Did we have to consume a ration yesterday because we had like eaten in the city beforehand? Okay.
Well, yeah. So like, you ate breakfast, but you left the city in the morning. Spent the whole day on the road. So unless you weren't going to eat anything that night.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So we're down like 2.5 trail rations for today, and then 5 for yesterday. So we're at 27.5.
And then Janus will cook again.
And how much do the horses need to eat, since they can also kind of graze?
Well, up in the mountains, they can't really.
Right, but I'm assuming here they can.
Yeah, there's more grazing land.
Okay.
We'll say for convenience sake, it's about the same, where they could half.
Cool.
Okay. Are you setting a watch?
Yes.
Ox will go first.
I'll ring up.
We'll go second.
Same order, probably.
Yeah.
Same order.
Okay. The night is uneventful.
Phew.
Okay. At this point, the next day, which is going to be the second of last seed, this is the point where you depart from the road and start heading mostly to the north by northwest. This is going to require a survival check now that you don't have a road to follow. Just following navigating via the sun, stars, landscape. Keep in mind that you are still in the foothills of the Citadel Mountains, so the terrain is not the smoothest. Sometimes the hills get fairly large and obstruct your vision of a lot of things.
Mm-hmm. Is this going to be a group thing, or like whoever's kind of guiding us, leading us through?
Who's guiding, right?
Who's
You're going to
the
have
best
someone
at
kind of
survival?
leading the way.
Who's best at survival?
Janus or Katarina?
Probably
Ramio?
Ramio.
No,
Ramio,
yeah,
I
I guess
think.
Ramio, yeah.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say Ramio.
I've got a 0 in that.
He's been roughing it for years. Janus has a 2. Ramio has a 12.
It's Ramio.
Yep, that's by far Ramio.
Yeah. All right.
Just
Yeah.
city kids.
Ramio will take the lead and lead them through the forest. So you want a survival check?
Yes.
Right. Let's see.
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
That's 13.
You rolled the.
You rolled a nat 1.
I rolled a nat 1.
Of course.
Oh.
That guy is going back in the box.
Oh.
At least it wasn't to find food.
You know what? I'm going to grab my metal dice. I need some good luck. All right.
Still, a 13 isn't awful.
Mm-hmm.
And we have the mountain range to follow. I'm sure those are imposing.
So long as I don't get us too lost from here.
Yeah, it'd be pretty hard to mess up, like, at least going in the right direction.
We're following the mountain range to the...
Turns out we've been going in the exact opposite range, way of the range.
The mountains on our left were good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just imagining we just look up and we're in Arx Luporum again.
Oh, east? I thought you said west.
Turn it to Wumba.
Listen, nobody taught me how to read a compass. I just kind of, the pronunciation, I just guessed.
We catch Ramio doing that thing where he's like holding his fingers out, like west, east.
Ramio, you feel confident. You guys step off the road, start to trailblaze through and around the hills, the foothills of the mountains. And there's this one point where, there's kind of like this deep ravine that kind of winds its way. And you're like, I bet you anything that's gonna be the quickest way we're gonna get to the bottom
I've
of that.
got a great
It's gonna
feeling
be
about
great.
this, you guys.
Got a great feeling about this.
I need to find that.
That's a great callback.
That ravine ends up going quite a long ways before you can find a way out of it, and by the time you find a spot where the walls of the sides of the ravine aren't too steep for the horses, you are well off your track, and have to spend the rest of the day getting back. It took you too far to the east, so you have to spend basically the rest of the day getting back towards the mountain, essentially costing a half day of travel.
Mm-hmm.
I found it for after the session, by the way.
Oh,
You what?
perfect.
You did find it? Amazing.
It's specifically the quote is, "Hey, this looks like a grand old time."
Oh man!
Awesome.
Could you guys make perception checks for me?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. I can't
okay.
guarantee you that I can, but I will try.
Ramio rolled a
I think I've
19.
got us. Yeah.
Is this for watches or is this for like during travel?
During travel.
Okay.
I got
14.
a 34.
Oh,
Nice.
19 for Ramio, 13 for Janus.
14 for Katarina.
Taking the hobbits to Isengard, you guys.
Okay. Elyswen, you catch a glimpse of what appear to be a pair of riders following, some distance away, but heading generally in the same direction that you guys are. Catch sight of them once during the day. You do not see them again.
Yeah.
No way. Watch it
Looks
be.
like there's those dwarves.
I know, I was gonna say, watch it be Drizzle and Gabriel.
Oh.
There's somebody out here.
What do you mean?
I just saw them. There's 2 on horseback. I didn't see much else.
Are they like going somewhere?
I mean, I think they went right past us, right?
Hmm?
Where did you say they were going?
They were heading in generally the same direction you guys are.
Okay, but did they pass us, or did they?
No, they're behind you.
Oh, are they still behind us?
You saw them once.
Okay, well,
Despite
The
the
rough-
massive detour.
Despite the massive detour.
that's
You saw them once before the detour. You don't know where they are.
okay. Well,
Everyone
everyone.
keep an extra.
Yeah, there's potentially somebody following us, and the way things have been going, I mean, never a bad idea to be safe. Who knows? Maybe we'll get 1,000 gold out of this. More realistically, maybe we'll get 500 gold.
All right. Well,
Maybe if there's something we can do to conceal the camp tonight.
maybe.
Maybe.
Anybody have any abilities they'd like to offer? I don't have much, unfortunately.
I don't have anything like invisibility, if that's what you're thinking.
I'm going invisible for a short time.
I can as well, but that's not going to do much to hide, the horses and the fire and all of that.
You can, Janus?
Unfortunately.
I'm not sure if it was my powers growing or me being dead, but I can.
Wow. Katarina, you can go invisible, right?
Nope.
Nope. All right. You and I are still
No.
great. Normal visibility.
And then Ramio, the 400-pound metal man.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
Ooh, what if I summoned a rather large beast that they would see from a ways off, and rather than coming through our encampment, they'd see the beast and take a long way around?
How long would it stay out?
It wouldn't be too long. It'd have to be just long enough to scare them off the trail a bit.
I mean, it's...
Or let's just hope we see them
precaution.
first, right?
I think if we were to... Anything we do reactively depends on us seeing them.
Yeah.
But if we keep our eyes open and find a good place to hole away,
A defensible
be all
okay.
right. Precisely.
We'll play it by ear.
Ramio, do you want help hunting tonight?
I'll take an extra set of eyes. Or two if Evise is coming along.
I wouldn't have it any other way. He needs to flap his wings a little anyway.
Right.
Is this about the scorched meat last night?
It wasn't too bad. Couldn't save the pelt, though.
I just haven't had an opportunity to use my bow in a while.
What pelt? They were birds.
Or at least some feathers. People pay good money for quail feathers.
Yeah.
Not quail, for pheasant feathers.
Sorry.
Oh, no worries.
You can catch it and cook it in one move.
Oh, how about a little contest, Elyswen? See who bags more or bigger stuff?
I suppose we can try.
A long time since I've had someone to hunt against. And Ramio's gonna take off.
And they're off.
Okay.
Alright, so survival?
Yep.
And I'm just gonna help Ramio out because my survival is trash.
Well,
Oh no.
so
You get another now one.
We need you to survive.
+2 for the aid. So I have a 14 to survival. That is gonna be a 33.
Oh!
Wow, nice.
Oh.
Yeah. Find the mother of all bucks.
Guys, there was a 7-Eleven out here the whole time.
Guys, I found McDonald's.
This great king lives up in the mountains. He calls himself the Burger King, whatever that means.
Wow.
Guys, I found this lovely young woman named Wendy.
Got these wonderful hot sandwiches.
Okay. Delicious frosties.
Did you roll a survival check, Elyswen?
Oh, I'm just assisting
Eating.
Ramio.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'd say you managed to find a fairly large deer and bring it down.
Ooh.
And I would say for for the 5 of you, probably fills 2 days worth of rations, so the next 2 days won't require.
Sweet.
Have the horses been able to graze a bit for half consumption?
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah, Ramio will skin and skin it, get the meat, and then Janus will cook.
Okay.
You got the perfect team here, Jake.
No, I'm just making like the comfy explorers team. One person to get food, one person to cook it, and that's all we need really. Now I just need a someone who can cast like tiny hut or something, or magnificent mansion.
There you
And
go.
we're all set for travel.
You basically have a traveling gastropub with locally sourced ingredients.
Yes. I want to make this character now. Or this... It'd be an adventuring party that just runs this traveling inn.
All you gotta do is die 2 more times.
Yeah. Hey guys, we're gonna need 20,000 gold.
Oh.
But boy, do I have a way to make it back.
Forget about
I got a
sellers.
business idea for you.
He needs to die 5 more times, because if one of his characters dies, he just assumes the other one.
Mhm.
So both of them need to die and get brought back. Then he has 3, and then all 3 of them need to die and get brought back.
So 50,000 gold.
50.
Really don't think of it as like the cost to bring people back needlessly, so much as an investment in a business opportunity.
It's an investment into a new party member.
The venture capitalist, something to really think about.
Hear me out. Just both of them take the leadership feat.
Oh, that's not a bad idea. Do you take minuses for dying though?
If your companions die, it's a minus. If you die, I don't know what that means.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Well, he died, so he can't be that good. But on the other hand, he came back to life, so
That's pretty cool.
that's more impressive.
If we stick around long enough, maybe I can ask some questions about the app.
All right. So
I did consider giving Janus the leadership feat this level. But he didn't.
That's the end of the second of last seed.
Right.
Wait.
Same watch order.
Okay. Okay. Uneventful Night. Once again.
Can I roll a perception check to see if I can find anybody like skulking?
Sure.
I'm not gonna go too far, but I will kind of like get a little past the perimeter.
You know, I go for one walk in the woods and I get almost in 2 fights. We go traveling for 3 days and see nothing.
Yep.
You say went for a little walk in the woods. What you mean is struck out into the jungle.
Walked out into the rainforest.
Just for fun. I'm
Ugh.
just gonna go for a walk and see if anything
And keep in
happens.
mind, you guys are in the foothills on the leeward side of these mountains, so it's almost arid.
Can I do just a little bit of ranging?
Yeah, make a perception check.
Oh no, that's the number you don't want to see. 16, but I rolled a 1, so.
If only you were there, and
Yeah, right? It was a halfling.
Well, okay. How far away are you ranging?
I want to stay within visual range of the camp,
Okay.
so I want to be able to see it.
All right. I'd say you guys probably camp down in between some hills in the low ground. So I imagine you're probably going to like top of a hill, to get a better view. So you're a fair distance away, as in being like, we'll say 600-ish feet.
Huh?
When you get to the top of the hill, you look around, and thankfully for you, these guys are really not good at stealth. And you spot 2 riders on horseback. However, you are also skylighting the heck out of yourself, so they see you as well. And you see as the 2 of them wheel their horses around. They were off to the east. They wheel their horses around and start riding towards you. They're still quite a ways off.
Crap. Okay, well. Expeditious retreat. I'm gonna run down to camp.
Okay, when I say they're quite a ways off, they're not gonna get there in the next couple of rounds.
Okay. I'll just scramble down then.
Okay.
Actually, I'll just send Avize in front of me and tell him to wake everybody up.
Great, all of us wake up to a bird pecking us in the face.
He can talk.
He starts calling Ramio just immediately upon waking up, draws the bow and almost shoots it. Draws back the bow to aim at everything.
Dinner.
Wait,
Hold
no.
your fire! Hold your
Not
fire!
that one.
Don't shoot!
What's up, Evie?
What's going on?
There are people.
Where's Alvyn?
Coming.
Oh,
And
that's
then
good.
Elyswen, I'm sure, gets there pretty quick.
Yeah, I mean, you're running downhill.
Yeah.
How far away are they?
How far away from me?
When you saw them, they were probably...
Oh, we lost
100 yards
track of
away.
Close. Maybe 100 yards.
So Ramio doesn't have his armor.
I mean, that's
Oh.
almost half a mile.
Here, Ramio.
Wait, how far did you say?
800 or 900 yards.
Oh, we just heard 100 yards.
Oh, no. 800 or 900.
Literally, we just heard 100 yards away.
Mhm.
So we were like,
Cut
oh
out.
no!
They're quite far.
Sorry, the internet stuttered there.
8 or 9. So about how long do we think it'll be?
Mhm.
Depends on how fast they choose to ride.
Ox will put on
Assume
her
that-
armor.
Ramio, do you need help getting your armor on?
Ox, do you need help getting your armor on?
Nope. I'm fast. I'm a half elf.
Ramio?
Yeah,
It
fair
has
enough.
nothing to do
Not
with
really
my
how that
nose.
works.
No, it's not. It's not.
Ramio?
It's a shirt. I'm just putting on a shirt.
All right.
Do you need help putting your armor on?
Let me see.
It's full plate, right? Oh.
20 minutes
crap.
later.
Yeah, it's 4 minutes.
What about with help?
With help.
I'm a trained armorer.
Ooh.
Armor crafter, but yeah.
Uh, 4 minutes with help.
Oh, okay, yeah, I'm helping you out.
Yeah. If I try to don it on my own, it's going to be 4 minutes, and I take a 1 point armor penalty in addition to the armor's penalty.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I will help you get that.
Sweet.
What do we want to plan on doing here?
Talking to them probably would be a good.
Yeah, we probably shouldn't just open fire. We should probably try to have a conversation unless they immediately try to kill us.
I agree, but I mean, preparing for the worst. What's our battle plan?
We win.
And that's a good place to end.
I mean, we all
I'm
know.
going to
we
wait
can-
about 200 feet over there and just shoot them.
We could get to the top of the hill,
It'd probably be more defensible.
but with the arm.
With the horses,
How long does it take you guys to get armor on?
he said 4 minutes for full plate.
I need to do some math here.
I can watch to see when they're getting close.
That's probably for the best.
Or Avize can do it. I'll just cast message on Avize and just send it.
Okay. So what is your guys' plan? Sorry, I was doing some math.
Janus. Let me see that spell.
Oh, well, let us know when they're getting close.
No,
Ox
I'm going to send
won't
Avize
hide.
into the air.
Ox isn't
Okay.
hiding, she's just standing with her.
Okay, so keep in mind your guys' camp is in between two hills. So you have a hill in between you and the riders.
Hmm. I think we were going to move to the top of the hill, right?
After Ramio got.
You guys can move first if you want. We can catch up.
Might not be a bad idea.
I'll just wait.
Ox, do you want to come with me? I think we're planning on ending up on the hill.
Okay. Ox will go up with Elden.
What's Janus doing?
Janus is going to kind of hide off in the woods. Close nearby, but kind of stealthy.
Okay. In the woods basically just means like the few scattered, scraggly trees in the area.
Mm-hmm.
This area is very arid because the rain falls on the west side of the mountains.
Then I'm actually going to cast Spectral Hand.
Okay.
So a bony humanoid hand materializes in thin air and hovers right next to Janus.
Okay.
Yeah, being dead did some things to Janus.
Mm-hmm.
Wait.
So Elyswen and Aux are going to the top of the hill.
Yep.
Janus has got his spooky hand. Ramio's trying to put his armor on. What's Katarina doing?
Helping Ramio put his armor on.
Okay, so at 4 minutes with the help.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Elyswen and Aux, are you running up the hill?
Yeah.
We're not
Okay.
trying to hide,
You
I
get-
don't think. So,
Okay. You get to the top of the hill. You see the riders approaching. They're not galloping, but they're moving with purpose. The two of them. As they start to get closer, as they get closer, you can see it appears to be two dwarves
Oh.
astride heavy
My
horse,
No.
heavy horses.
Freaking way.
It is.
They pull up about 100 feet or so is how close they'll get before reining their horses in and just kind of looking at the two of you. At this point, less than 3 minutes has gone by, so Katarina and Ramio are still working on Ramio's armor.
Hello there.
Strange to be finding people like you out here.
Say the same of you.
So,
no,
what?
I said, oh, no, let me get that strap.
Oh. Interesting to see an elf and a half-elf out this part of Illyria. What do you think the odds of that are, brother? I'd reckon less than a lot of other things that I've seen happen.
Yeah, well, anyway, good night to you.
It's morning.
Good morning to you.
What do you say, brother? You reckon it's a good morning? You know, Gramil, I think it's going to be.
Lightning bolt.
The funny thing is, one of them is actually going to raise a heavy crossbow. So we will pick up next time. We'll roll initiative.
Awesome.
Okay.
Yeah. If you yell out, we'll stop putting the armor on and actually help.
Yeah.
We're probably gonna get pretty noisy.
Oh my gosh. Just make sure to bring in more than 50% of them.
You'll see, like, Ramio right up to the dill. He's got, like, his pants on, his boots, and, like, a shoulder pauldron.
Oh, man.
Let me at him.